YOLO ventilating people of YouTube. So this is my second video because they took down my first video in regards to ventilators. Now, if you didn't know, if you don't watch my videos, I was shot 5 times. I mean, both lungs collapsed. I had 2 holes in my trachea, shot in the face, and straight through me. So basically, they put me in like a 4-day induced coma, and then when they brought me out, like I was on ventilators for a while, you know? So, damn, that was a mad crash. So I was on ventilators, and if you don't know what a ventilator is, it comes with a bunch of names, but the one it doesn't matter what kind it is. What matters is if a machine is breathing with you, for you, okay? Something very unique happens that these doctors, they can't fully explain why this is the case. But this is the reality, okay? Anytime a machine is assisting you breathing, you will lose 7 to 11% muscle mass a day. I know I said that slow, but that's fucking hella important, okay? So if a machine is assisting you to breathe, you're losing 7 to 11% muscle mass a day, okay? So when I got shot, I was 30, 31, something like that. 2018, February 2018, I got shot up, all right? So I got released from the hospital in 11 days, which was a miracle in itself. The doctor told me, I asked him, how long am I gonna be here? It was like the end of the first week, you know? And he's like, dude, you're gonna be here for like over a month, dude. Like, I was like, no, I'll be out in 2 weeks. And he started laughing. He's like, okay, bro. Like, you know, dude, the amount of surgeries you just went through, he just laughed at me, you know? It was unrealistic, but I got it out in 11 days, you know? That was due to my persistence to get better. Plus, I know my body, and I heal faster than most people do. I have a really high immune system naturally. That has its own problems. That's a separate fucking issue, but I know that about me. So basically, the reason why I'm making this video is in regards to the Chinese flu, if you're catching my drift, right? A lot of these old people, they have to be put on respirators. But the problem is that when you're losing 7 to 11% muscle mass, not fat, but muscle mass, because you have to understand, your muscles are very nutritious. Your fat, on the other hand, is not so nutritious. So when your body needs a lot of nutrition, it goes to your muscles first. It starts eating away at your muscles to feed itself, right? To rehabilitate itself. Now, being 30 years old was much different being on a ventilator than being 70 and being on a ventilator. Now, I'm not a doctor. I'm not telling you what the fuck to do and what not to do. What I'm saying is from my personal experience, all right? I left the hospital in 11 days, full body atrophy. I'm talking about I literally had to learn how to walk again. I had to relearn how to use every single muscle I have all over again. You have muscles you use that you have no idea, that you never pay attention to. I'll give you a perfect example, right? Your pointing finger, or any finger, right? To move it left and right are completely different muscles than what would lift it up or down. Sounds very logical and shit, but you've never really thought about your finger going left or right. It took me a week to get my pointing finger to move left and right, man. That's how I left in 11 days, okay? They had to they literally sliced my back open like a fucking fish, They did everything to me except fillet me. They shoved so many tubes down my throat. I think I had at one time 6 tubes in my throat, man. Every one for something else. I had like 6 tubes in my throat at one point. I had a tube in my chest, left chest, in my left breast, in my right breast, a tube under my right arm, a tube under my left arm. Both those tubes went through between my ribs. I mean, I was connected to fucking Skynet, man. The amount of wires and the amount of shit connected, like IVs, and it was ridiculous, man. I had like maybe 6 machines around me. I didn't even know what half of them did. Just wild. But the important thing about it was that I didn't even know until I got out the hospital. I'm like, dude, why can't I fucking walk? Why can't I move and shit? They're like, well, you know, you lose this much. They finally told me, and then I Googled it, and I was like, what the fuck, bro? That's fucking crazy. Now, I'm not taking anything away from those doctors, man, or nurses, man. Thank you guys for saving my life. I greatly fucking appreciate it, alright? This is not to put anyone down in any way, shape, or form. This is just my experience of what happened in regards to ventilators and how they can affect. If you don't know that key information and you're old, that might be something to take into consideration in terms of whether you'll make it out the hospital or whether you won't. Like, if I was 70 and I had COVID, sorry, not COVID, the Chinese flu, all right? If I was 70 years old and had the Chinese flu, respirators would be the absolute last resort for me, based on my actual experience. That would be literally the last resort I would go to. I would try every single thing else, because I would know at 70 years old, if you go on ventilators, right, the chances of me, imagine in 7 days, what is that? If you take, let's say, average of 10% muscle mass, so 10% the first day, 10% of what's left the second day, 10% of for 7 days, I might not make it out, dude. The chances are, like, when I got out, it affected my heart. It affected every fucking thing. It wasn't just, they told me it was just my regular muscles, right? 6 months later, I had a heart attack. It affects all your shit, you know? And they don't really know why. Now, because I was shot up and I had both lungs collapsed, 2 punctured lungs, punctured trachea both sides, right? I think the least amount of damage I took was to the face, surprisingly. So I got shot in the face. It looks like right now, like, I'm good now. I'm big and healthy now, but it looks like someone literally just, some chicken like stilettos high kicked a chunk of my fucking face off. Or like some fucking person just literally bit off a piece of my cheek. That's what it looks like. Not to mention the entry wound. You know what I'm saying? Like, the exit wound, it literally looks like someone bit a piece of my face off, dude. But yet, I'm still fucking handsome as fuck. Imagine that. And I'm gonna go into another thing, man. So, because the lung collapse and all that shit, right? So basically, your blood clots, right? Like, let's say if you cut yourself, you get a scab and whatnot. Well, when you're fucked up from the inside, you scab as well. Like, all that blood clot and all that dirty shit, well, they have to suck that shit out. That's why they got certain hoses for just continuously trying to suck all that dirt, like all that shit you don't want in your lungs, because breathing was so difficult, dude. It was unimaginably painful and ridiculously hard to breathe. And there's a procedure they do. I forgot what it's called, but basically, I'm not gonna fuck up the word, man. It's gyno something, meaning from your nose. Basically, what they do is they tell you to lean back, put your head back so your airways are open, and then they'll shove this tube into your nose, and from your nose they'll shove it in all the way into your trachea and pretty much into your lungs, as far as it will go, pretty much. And you're supposed, and they'll tell you, I need you to cough, like continuously, just cough crazy, like just trying to push everything out. And at the same time as you're coughing your lungs out, literally, they're slowly pulling that hose out, and they're vacuuming out at the same time, okay? And it's ridiculously painful, ridiculously uncomfortable. You can't breathe. You're coughing because you have to cough, and it's crazy, man. And the doctor or the nurses that were doing that to me, because I kept telling them, hey, do that to me again, because I was in so much fucking pain, you know? I was in so much fucking pain that whenever they would do it, I would get like a 20. Let's say my pain was at literally 10, 1 through 10. That I would have to go through that horrific procedure that took like 2-3 minutes to do, right? Like the serious part of it, not the prepping and shit, right? So, and then I would get like a 30-minute relief of my pain going down to like a 9 or an 8. And I was in so much pain, dude, that I was literally telling the doctors and nurses, do that to me again, man. Do that to me again. To the point where the nurse is like, dude, you're the only patient we've ever had. You're the only patient we've ever had that's asked us to do this. Because it's such an uncomfortable and horrible procedure that people will usually be like, look, in an hour, not now, please, not now. They'll try and like push it as far back as possible. Me, I was like, no, fuck that, dude. Get that shit out. Let me get better. The sooner the fucking, you know, I was just on that trip, right? And I'll tell you an interesting situation that happened. So most of the time that I'm communicating, I'm doing it through writing. I have tubes all everywhere, dude. Like, they probably took the tubes out of my mouth on day 8 or 9, something like that. So all my communication is by writing, typing on my phone, or fucking signaling some fucking how, right? So this nurse comes and she's gonna do this procedure again, and every time they have to open up a new package of that tubing, you know? And I told her, I was like, look, I broke my nose multiple times. You can't go through the right side of my nose. You can only, no, you can't go through the left side of my nose. You can only go through the right side. What? How's my nose broken? No, you can only go through the right, not the left. Sorry. So she tries to go through, and the tube's not going. And my sister's there. My sister's a lawyer, and she's watching this, and she sees that nurse is struggling, and I'm telling her, and I wrote to her, like, I'm telling her, look, the tube is defective. And the nurse is telling me, the tube's not defective, I just opened it. I'm like, hun, the tube is defective. I'm telling you, you know? And I know something about medicine, you know? I'm not saying I'm a doctor, but like I took surgical tech and I learned certain shit, and I self-educated myself. And I'm telling her, like, dude, the tube is it's messed up from the factory, you know, it's defective, like, and she's keep trying to push it in, which it hurts because it's like, you know, forcing something against the back of your nose, you know. And I told and I wrote to her, like, you know, if you were to open a new package, would you get in trouble for it? She's like, no. I was like, okay, then do me a favor, open up a new package and do it. And she opened up a new package, and then it instantly went in. And my sister's like, dude, how'd you know? And I was like, because it's like common fucking sense, you know? You don't have to be a nurse to understand a lot of what's happening, you know? A lot of what's happening is basic things. It's basic if you think about it, right? So if they've stuck 20 tubes in and 19 of them have gone in smoothly, and then the 20th one is not going in, even though they're trying multiple times, it's either this nurse has absolutely no idea what they're doing, or it's defective. But your hole has a nose, like your nose has a hole in it. There's no way you can mess it up. You know, it's just common sense. If it's not going in, there's something defective about the hose. And what's defective is like the ends of the hose, it's rounded so that it could slide in. But if it's cut like jagged, it's gonna get caught against your tissue and not go in. It's like common sense. I just knew that off the bat. And I remember my sister was astonished about that. And she was astonished about a couple of other weird situations that happened like that. Like, dude, how the fuck do you know all this shit? Like, I'm older than you, I'm a lawyer. Like, where have you learned this stuff? Because it's not like common knowledge shit. But yeah, so this is a remake of that video, man. Just giving you guys a heads up about respirators, man, and how they actually affect your body. It's man, that recovery process was horrific. Worse than the getting shot, believe it or not. I took that alright, except for almost dying because I was choking on my own blood and shit. But one of these days I'm gonna break down how I got shot up and what the fuck happened, and I'm gonna have to really think about my wording and how I'm gonna present it. And I've wanted to present it for a while, but I've been really hesitant. So I'm gonna think about it, and then I don't know, man. Maybe if enough people wanna hear it, or because it doesn't seem like people give a fuck, you know. So one day I'll say exactly what happened, and it's so wild, man. Like what took place was so fucking crazy that if I saw it in a movie, I would say that's fake. Like, there's no fucking way. That's bullshit. This is just some Hollywood magic. No way. Right? Like, I've never seen some shit like that on YouTube. Any of those sites where you see people getting shot and killed. And it's like one of those Hollywood, like, fucking movies where, you know, anyways. So, yeah. One of these days I'll make a post about that. I hope you guys have a healthy life and never have to go through being on a respirator and stuff like that. It's horrific. And to you nurses out there, you guys are amazing. And understand, people that were like in my situation, we are in tremendous amount of pain, unbelievable amount of pain, and that's coming from a person that's broken countless bones in my time. Okay, I've broke my nose 3 times, I've broken my tailbone 3 times, I've broken my toes, I've broken my left foot. I've cracked my ankle. I've snapped my left arm in half, both tibia and labia. I've fractured almost all my fingers on both hands, some of my fingers multiple times. I've tore ligaments on the left side of my face. I've tore ligaments in my left hand. I've fractured at least 6-7 ribs throughout my time. Even when I got shot, one of my ribs broke. I've been in pain many times in my life. Lots of pain. And I'm gonna tell you, man, getting shot didn't hurt that much. But the recuperation, oh my fucking God, I have never been in pain like that as I was on day 9 specifically. I'm talking about like, fuck, I don't know, man. Like, you'd want to sell your soul for like that pain to go away, dude. So what I'm telling you, nurses, man, is when we're like, when I was asking you guys, hey man, you guys need to boost up the fucking there was a morphine shortage, so they were giving me that synthetic morphine. What the fuck is it called that everyone's dying from, man? Anyways, so I was like, well, you gotta increase it, man. Like, I keep hitting the fucking button, you know, because you can either have it as a continuous drip or with the button where you press it and then it'll give you a small dose, and you gotta press it every like 10 minutes. And dude, I kept pressing and it was not enough. It was like just taking the edge off. I was in so much pain, it was literally taking the edge off. And they kept telling me, dude, you're maxed out. We cannot increase it more. Because I was like, dude, you gotta call the fucking doctor and increase this shit. The doctor came and it's like, look, I'm gonna push it a little higher than what I'm allowed to, but that's it. Like, there is no more to give you, like, the dosage wise, you know. So when we're asking you aggravatedly, like, be patient with us, you know. It just, the amount of pain I was in, it's very hard to be compassionate with people that aren't giving you what you want, when you know that's what you want and that's what's gonna make you feel a little better, you know. I didn't come off the nicest person sometimes when they said no, and it was strictly out of the sheer amount of pain I was in. And you guys are fucking troopers and heroes, and I salute you for fucking doing what you guys do. You guys are the shit. You people are actually doing something good in this world compared to the rest of us in society. So thank you guys very much. YOLO. Peace.